Hi there, this is April Lee with Hope, Faith, and Thriving While Chronically Ill. It's been a few weeks since I made a video. A lot has been going on, and I just wanted to kind of update you on a few things that might help you or someone. So one of the last videos I made, I had went to a new GI doctor, a gastrointestinal doctor, and I had been diagnosed previously from another doctor about going on almost 4 years now with a condition called gastroparesis. At the time that I got that diagnosis, I had all of the symptoms of that condition. If you have it or you've heard of it, you will know what they are. If not, and you're interested, you can look them up. There's many symptoms to it. It's called gastroparesis, and that is the paralyzing of the stomach. So when you eat, the food goes to the stomach. The stomach does not contract in the time that it should. Within like the first 4 hours of eating, it should contract and move the food through. And so if it doesn't do that, then it sits and it just basically makes you feel sick, gives you all types of symptoms, and it's not healthy, and it's just very it can be debilitating and make it hard to eat any solid food. So I was diagnosed with that, and at the time, I do believe I did have it. Based on, they did an endoscopy where they put the tube down your throat with a camera, and they look around, and I had a large amount of undigested food in my stomach, and I had not eaten for 48 hours. So usually within 4 hours, that food should be gone, and it was still there. So I for sure did have it, or some form of it. I don't know for how long. So after that, they treated me for this condition with different types of medication, diet change, and other types of supplements to support, and then just basically lifestyle changes. And so it seemed to work a little bit for a few, I guess like a year or so. It seemed to help about 50%. Then I had ended up getting COVID almost exactly 1 year ago from now, and last December. And after I got COVID, I recovered after 2 weeks. And after 2 weeks, my stomach, as far as I could tell at the time, it literally just stopped working. Anything and everything I ate, it did not matter. It did not matter the amount of food, the type of food, or anything. I was really sick with symptoms. Just every digestional distress symptom you can think of, I had all of it. Anything from vomiting to just bowel issues, cramping, pain, nausea, just everything, swelling, inflammation, bloating, just all of it. And so anyway, I went to the doctor with that, my previous doctor, and told him about all this. And he said, you know, with having COVID, it's new to us, so we're not 100% sure, but we do notice a lot of people that have had COVID that have never had a digestional problem or anything wrong with their gut at all are now becoming patients of ours and having problems. Even as aggressive as having gastroparesis. And so what they did is they basically continued to treat me as if my gastroparesis was severe. So they've tried like IB Guard and FD Guard. These are supplements that help you digest your food. They tried pancreatic enzymes, medications that are known to contract the stomach to move it along quicker, even certain antibiotics that will move the gut muscles, so basically like the stomach muscles, to contract and move the food faster. They tried everything, and then nothing worked. And so I asked for them to do some other testing to rule out some things, and they did some of it, and they ruled out some other conditions, which I was negative for everything. So they continued with the treatment, and they said, okay, you know, we're just going to treat you for the gastroparesis that's flaring up. And so what they did is they continued to do that, and I was getting worse. So I went from eating 50% food to liquid. And then literally after 3 months of just suffering and realizing every time I ate, I was super sick, like really, really sick, almost as if you had like a stomach bug every time you ate something, and it was shutting down my body every time I ate solid food. So I went to a liquid and pureed diet. I put myself on it, and I noticed after getting all of that solid food out of my body and changing to liquid and pureed food, I felt really good. And the only time I felt good is if I ate nothing at all, which is not possible, and I don't want to do that. That is not healthy. To doing just liquid and pureed. And once I did liquid and pureed food, I felt almost as if I had nothing wrong with me, except I still had the nausea part and mild abdominal pain. So with that, they said, okay, you know, we're going to continue to treat your gastroparesis. And I asked if they would do another gastric emptying study to confirm, just to make sure I do or do not have gastroparesis still. So I went and I had this done, a gastric emptying scan. It was done correctly, or a study, and it was done correctly. It was a 4-hour test where you eat eggs and toast, and you get your pictures taken of your stomach over a 4-hour period. It showed everything was completely normal. I went back to my doctor and I said, this is amazing. I don't have gastroparesis anymore. What can we do, and what can we find out what I have, and how can we treat myself so I can actually get better and improve? And he said to me, even though the test is negative, it can still be negative and you still have the condition. So we believe you have gastroparesis, and we're going to treat you as if you do. And so they tried an antibiotic, and all that did was cause upset stomach and just make me feel sick. So I continued with this doctor for probably another 6 to 8 weeks. And after I was getting significantly worse and just losing a ton of weight, and I felt super sick, and the amount of calories I was getting in was way too low. So when I ate solid food, because the amount of food and the just the consistency of the food, I was only able to get in about 400 to 500 calories a day, and that's like maximum. So when I went to liquid and pureed diet, I was actually getting in anywhere between average 600 calories to 800 to 900. It's not enough, but it was all I could do, and I was super sick with nausea. The pain got better and the bloating went down. So I went back to him, and nothing was going anywhere. And this doctor is great. I'm not saying he's a bad doctor. I'm just saying that he just kind of, his instinct, intuition, and expertise kind of like went downhill for me personally. So I thought, you know what, let me get out of here, and I'm gonna get an appointment with Mayo, because Mayo Clinic diagnosed me after 10 years of like searching and suffering. They diagnosed me after looking at my history and really analyzing everything. They diagnosed me with the proper conditions within a matter of days. And it led me on a path to at least get some improvement. So I thought, all right, I'm gonna try that again. I got my my referral to Mayo Clinic. I waited almost 3 months to see this doctor who specializes in gastroparesis, and I thought, what better doctor than that to either confirm that I have this and do something about it, or rule it out. So in the meantime, I decided to find a new doctor locally. And the way I did this is I went online and I searched around, and I couldn't find anything that looked good to me, because I thought I had gastroparesis at the time, and there's not a lot of doctors that specialize in that. It's a gut motility issue. So then I started researching gut motility gastroenterologists. So there's ones that specialize in the movement of the gut. So I found one. I called up like this practice, not this practice, but this organization that, you know how you'd have different branches. So this one is called Orlando Health. And so what I did is I called them up, and I got a hold of one of the representatives on the phone, and I said, if you were in this position, who would be a good doctor to kind of like get down to the bottom of something and really work with you and for you to help you get better and see improvement? And so she recommended a doctor. He's amazing. And so he does not specialize in gastroparesis, but when I went to him, he did all the research and everything on my history. And he said, I just do not believe you have gastroparesis. The test says that you don't. You are not getting better with treating yourself as you have gastroparesis. And I thought to myself, okay, this other doctor I have is amazing, and either he's really right and everyone else is wrong, or this doctor is right, or he's really wrong. So what I did is he agreed, after doing a long appointment with me, agreed to test me for multiple other things. And he was like, let's check out SIBO, which is SIBO, small bacteria overgrowth, or small intestinal bacteria overgrowth. I've had it before. It mimics gastroparesis, as other things do as well. So he ruled that out. I did a whole video on taking the SIBO breath test, came back negative. I do not have it as far as it can detect, and it should be able to detect it, the different versions of it. And I don't have any of them as far as it showed. So then he was like, let's test for fructose and also sucralose. There's a breath test for that, and that can cause the symptoms as well. I had remembered I had the test done and it was negative, so I do not have that. I do have a lactose intolerance, which I do not eat lactose or anything like that for years. And also I have a high sensitivity to gluten, so I've ruled that out. I have not had that in 10 years. I mean, I might have 10% gluten a year somehow, but not on purpose. And so you can't add that into the mix. So anyway, everything was ruled out, and I was diagnosed with IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome, when I was like 22. And so I've had that for a long while, and I know what it feels like. And I thought, okay, is it just these symptoms from that? And so I ran it by the doctor, and he's like, this is what I think. I think that because you have nerve conditions with fibromyalgia and all the other things that you have are like a brain-gut connection. I believe that something is going on. After we've ruled everything else out, he's like, I want to try you on a medicine called amitriptyline. There's another name for it. I don't know the name, but it's very low dose. So it's on 10 milligrams. That's how they start you for gut pain, nerve pain. It seems to, it's supposed to calm the nerves down so that it just calms the nerves down in the gut. And when it calms down the nerves in the gut cannot supposedly send as many signals to the brain that you're in a lot of pain, which when it does that, apparently it's creating inflammation and all this stuff to alert your body that something's wrong when there really isn't anything wrong. So anyway, in the process of me taking that medication, I took it and I started on it, and it also is supposed to help you with your sleep, and it can also aid in helping the nerve pain from other conditions, especially fibromyalgia, and I have fibromyalgia. So I questioned everything, I researched to death every medicine. I thought, all right, I've been praying about this, I've been praying for an answer and a proper diagnosis and some treatment. So I just had peace. I prayed, and I was like, all right, Lord, just protect me. If I'm going to take this medicine, I just pray that I'm going to be okay with it, and I'm not going to have a million side effects, and I'll start to see improvement. So I just went with it. I did what the doctor said. I got the medication. I started the prescription in the evening, and everything's been good. I've been on it for about 2 weeks. I noticed within about 7 days, I started to eat, because I was almost afraid to eat because of the pain. I started to eat tiny amounts of food, and the pain and the just the nausea was non-existent. I was able to eat without pain and nausea. And I mean, like, the pain is bad. It's like every time you eat anything solid, the liquids are fine, but as soon as you put solid food in my body, it's like your intestines are being like a wet rag and like twisted and being wring out and then yanked on. It's awful, and it causes such extreme nausea and all kinds of other symptoms that like exhaust my body. It is the weirdest thing, and it is only with solid food. I could eat soft food, and I could drink fluids as long as I don't have large amounts, and there's like no symptoms. As soon as I chew the solid food and swallow the solid food, within 15 minutes on average to up to 2 hours, I never got past 2 hours, I would have symptoms, and they could get extreme the more I ate. So I noticed that I was seeing improvement. So I had a follow-up with Mayo Clinic at this time. And this was about 7 to 10 days into the medicine. So I meet with this doctor, Mayo Clinic. I had a virtual visit, and he goes over my history. He's on the phone with me for at least an hour, if not longer. And he listened to everything and took into account all of my past testing and everything. He's like, I just want to tell you that 80% of people that come to Mayo Clinic, that come to our department and come to me, that were diagnosed with gastroparesis do not have gastroparesis, at least at the time that we're talking to them. So I thought, oh my gosh, so that means like only 20% of the average person that is diagnosed with gastroparesis that at least come to them actually have it, and the others do not, and they have something else. So he told me, without a doubt, I know that you have obviously like your IBS and all that, but you have functional dyspepsia, which basically just means that they do not know why I have this extreme reaction every time I eat. There can be reasons why, and they could find them, but as far as all the testing I've done, they have not really found a cause. There is a gut, a nerve gut, like, and I guess like gut condition that is related, gut conditions that are especially IBS related to fibromyalgia, like all that nerve hyperactivity that you can feel. And so they're related. Now, I've had past surgeries. I've had a hysterectomy. I've had a laparoscopy, and I've also had a gallbladder removed. All of that was done in a matter of 3 years' time. So all of this major stuff with these gut conditions happened during and after those things. So I honestly, I hope I can get to a reason as to why I have functional dyspepsia. I don't really know why exactly, but all I know is that I want to treat it. I've done everything. I've done worked at the Mayo Clinic. I've done the elimination diet. I've done, as you know, I've done the liquid diet, all natural, all organic, sugar-free, caffeine-free. Every healthy thing you could do to heal the gut, heal the gut, supplement, like everything. And I did everything for at least 5 months at a time, and consistently, and 100% correct, and still have this issue. And the only thing that helped it so far is taking probiotics, which help support, and then eating a healthy diet and this medication, so amitriptyline. It has not really, like, I do not have, they have this theory of this brain-gut connection where you're anxious and like thinking negative thoughts or something, and so when you eat, you're getting all this pain. So that's definitely not what's happening with me. It honestly, like, I could be at complete peace or like having the happiest time ever, and as soon as I eat the solid food and it starts to digest, that is when I'm feeling all this pain. So I can drink milkshakes, lactose-free milkshakes, but milkshakes and thick soups and everything, and I have no symptoms, and yet I chew the solid food, swallow it, and I'm having a problem. So honestly, I don't even care at this point why I have that. I'm relating it to nerve damage and my IBS and the fact that I have fibromyalgia at this point. I'm still going to look into it and research more to kind of figure out maybe what is triggering it, causing it. But I'm very happy that amitriptyline is working. It does take they said up to almost 3 months to really feel a full effect. So I'm really looking forward to that. So I went from eating, having all liquid and smushy food to a few bites every other day to actually eating a very, very small meals, like a slice of gluten-free toast with like a thin layer of butter, and then maybe, a protein shake like 2 hours later, and maybe like a small thing of like, I don't know, more creamier grits or something. And then I've attempted salad and all that. I don't think roughage is like good for anyone with gut problems. So I've been juicing my fruits and vegetables, which seem to be better. I've tried out salads. It does not feel good to me. So I've eliminated that, but I puree, blend, and juice that stuff so I can get that in. But I'm just starting to incorporate some food and solid food, and I'm doing pretty good. Thanksgiving came around, and I took, like, I guess you would consider like maybe like 2 tablespoons of each item, and it's like more than a toddler would eat, but not as much as like a grown adult. And I ate all of it, and I had no pain, no bloating, no symptom, no nothing. So the medicine is working amazingly well so far, thank God. And along with that, I did take something called FD Guard, and it's in a purple box if you see it in the store. And if you have a gastro doctor, you can ask for samples of that. Find it on Amazon, probably like in the store. It's probably like about 20 bucks for a box of it, maybe a month's supply, but it does help me. It has like peppermint oil and some other things in there. You can look into it, FD Guard. And I take it within 30 minutes of eating. I'm just trying it out with it because he said I should do that. And it seems to be aiding in it. When I don't have it, I do notice that the amitriptyline works, but I seem to just do better when I add this FD Guard to the mix. There's also one called IB Guard, which helps too. It's just helping digest and move things along. And I do a probiotic every morning. All this together seems to work really well. And the reason I made this video is because if you have a condition that you've been diagnosed with and you're not seeing improvement, I just think that you don't have to leave your current doctor, even if the doctor is amazing. I seeked out a second opinion. I didn't fully leave my doctor. When I went to this new doctor locally, and he listened to me, and he was compassionate, sincere, really caring. This doctor literally called me. I think I've had 8 phone calls from this doctor in 2 months' time. That is how much this doctor is thinking of his patients and trying to get them better. I'm not saying everyone needs 8 phone calls, but I'm a very complicated case. It's hard to diagnose the things I have sometimes. And I'm so grateful. He really, really, really has worked hard for me. And by having that Mayo Clinic appointment doctor just even more so confirmed that the original diagnosis I do not have any longer, and that I was treating something that was not going to get better because I no longer had it. So I got the proper diagnosis confirmed by 2 separate doctors. Now I have a new local doctor. I have Mayo Clinic to back up all of this and seek out if I need it. And now I'm going to move forward in trying to do my best to manage and treat. This is not curable, but it's manageable and treatable. It literally, if you look at the symptoms, it mirror images gastroparesis. And so it's called functional dyspepsia. There's also like another term like organic dyspepsia and some other things, but the one I have is called functional dyspepsia. It's functional. They don't see anything in the body that is like causing it. So it's just a function of my body not functioning right. Functional dyspepsia. And so I can see where the first doctor would think, okay, you have this, we're just going to keep treating you. And he just did not take enough time to think outside that box and go any further to really get to the bottom of it. And so I moved on, and the new doctor, and this is what you should always look for, is a doctor that is going to listen to you. He said, I want to listen to you. I want to partner with you, and I'm going to help you. We're going to figure it out. And he did. And this was one visit I had in person, lots of phone calls he made to me, messaging through the portal, and then me seeking out. He said, go ahead and go to Mayo, see what they have to say. And that kind of like sealing the deal with the two opinions together, and the fact that I'm taking the medicine and I'm getting better. I mean, thank God. So with gastroparesis, if you don't have it and you're treating it, you are not going to get better, and you're going to think that you have this condition that is going to lead you to a feeding tube or possibly starvation, malnutrition. It is very, very important that if you have a condition that you've been diagnosed with and you do not have solid evidence that you for sure have it, that you seek out a second and third opinion. If you love your doctor, you can keep that doctor, but you really need to seek out a second, even a third opinion, and make sure that you are treating the right thing, especially if you're not getting better, because you could have something that can be cured or treatable, or something that really needs addressed that you have no clue, that could deteriorate everything else. So it's very important that you seek that out. I'm just going to encourage you to do that. You don't have to feel guilty that you're, backstabbing your doctor, because your health is your health. Your doctor works for you. You do not work for your doctor. You are not, this little shy little thing that needs to go in the office and your doctor intimidates you and make you feel like do what I say or else, because that's what was happening to me. And my doctor meant well, but it was turning into this condescending relationship where he just looked at me and was like, this is how it is. And, this is what you're going to do. And, listen to me or else. And I just felt like, you know what, I'm not doing well. I was falling apart, physically falling apart and getting very unhealthy. And I seeked out something more and better, and I found it, and I'm so grateful. So now I'm going to continue on this journey of trying to get everything calmed down in my system. It's motivating me to even want to just feel like I can finally maybe exercise more. I'm in physical therapy for my fibromyalgia. And also I have to do physical therapy for pelvic floor dysfunction, which even men can get that. And they think it's just aiding in my gut problems because it can cause a lot of pain and pressure in the lower part of your gut and intestines and stomach. And it actually can cause digestion issues and all kinds of stomach stuff as well. So strengthening up the pelvic floor and like all the muscles on the outside of just like your back and your glutes and everything to support that, and working with a specialized, I'm going to go see a specialized physical therapist. I don't even think I need that many visits. Just get an evaluation. You go through supposedly like once a week for up to 6 weeks, and then you do these things at home. I've been researching on YouTube, actually finding people that specialize in it. I found a few that have amazing techniques that you can do that involve stretching and exercises in the lower part of the body to support that and to strengthen. And it's amazing. You can actually almost heal that up and strengthen yourself in that condition. So it's pelvic floor dysfunction. So that's good too. So I'm going to do both of those, and just by seeking out some other opinions by what I consider just more compassionate doctors that really care and keep looking and don't just see you as just another number or patient. I mean, it's ridiculous. So I want to encourage you to seek out help if you need it. If you're not seeing improvement and you've given your doctor, I gave my doctor 4 more visits, which, that's weeks in between, and I was getting worse and worse, and he had no other answers for me. So I thought, you know what, I'm done, I'm moving on. And I'm going to see what I can find, because there's got to be more, and there's got to be something to get me better. And I'm feeling much better. My nausea is gone. I have 0 nausea, and I had nausea in the middle of the night. I had nausea all day. I had waves of nausea so bad it would cause like a vertigo and vomiting. It was so bad. And by just going to another doctor and having them give me the time of day and an hour of their time and researching my history, I'm on a medication that is literally took it away. So that alone is incredible, because if you don't have nausea, you can move around more, you can exercise more, because just leaning over when you're nauseous, you're gonna puke and you're gonna feel sick. So please, if you are not improving, I just encourage you to seek out another doctor, research online, find who you want to find, go to the best of the best, look for specialists, whatever you can do, because you deserve it, you're worth it. You're not, it's not all in your mind, because with me, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm wasting like Mayo Clinic's time with this, but you know what? It's worth it, because I'm going to get better. I'm going to see improvement. I'm so grateful. It was a 3-month wait and a 1-hour visit, and it was worth it. And I'm going to see improvement, and I'm going to get better and feel better, and at least, get to a point where I can maintain some sort of better quality of my gut health, which is so important. They say, like, I think over 90% of your health is in your gut, which means that if I can get it stronger and better and healthier, my immune system will be better, and I'll catch less illnesses and all of that. And then another thing, and I'll get into this in a separate video, I thought I was wasting my time there too, and I did not. I went to do allergy testing just to see if I have, start becoming allergic to things because of my migraines, and all my crazy symptoms could be triggered by stuff, especially I'm a hairdresser, and just making sure like all the chemicals that I've been around, like I'm sure that's aiding in a lot of my conditions and the symptoms that I feel. And I had testing done. The first testing showed mild, just very mild reactions. The second group of testing, which was just basic skin, they do a skin panel on your arm to test you for, I think it's like 50 to 80 things environmentally, and they found out that I'm allergic, which I already knew this, allergic to cats pretty bad, which I'm not around cats, but I'm allergic to 2 types of grass, which obviously is on the ground, and then you've got the pollen from that floating around in the air, and then 2 types of molds for sure, and they're everywhere. You cannot avoid those molds. It doesn't matter. I have a UV light in my air unit. I've changed my filters. I dust my house. It's everywhere. It can be in food. It's literally in the trees. It's in dust. It's in dirt. Like, it's everywhere. It floats around. You're going to be exposed to some of it. I'm pretty allergic to it. And my arm, showed that just that tiny little bit they exposed me to, I'm allergic to it. So it causes symptoms, not just stuffy nose, runny nose, all that. I mean, you can have other reactions. So it can just affect a lot of things, which I think is aiding in my migraines and my headaches and just the pressure that I get, and I just feel sick when it's bad. So it's important to know. And what they're going to do is do immunotherapy, which basically is just they can do liquid under the tongue, and then they can also do injections, which it's shots formulated for your body for the things that you're allergic to in tiny doses, and then they give you injection once a week and expose you a little bit so your body starts to build immunity to it, so that way when you're exposed to it, and especially since it's all over the place, probably especially in my salon, it's an older building, I'm for sure that there is some mold in there. I almost want to like bring a kit in there and test my room and see, because between the chemicals and all of that, you never know. Nothing like toxic level, but there's got to be something, some exposure. So they'll give you these shots, and you'll slowly, hopefully become, the goal is to become less reactive to it. So it's less pills, it's less, hopefully less, I guess, like side effects and stuff like that. So I don't want to be on a pill daily of antihistamine every day of my life, and nor will that cover it anyway. So I'm glad I did that. I think that if you're concerned about anything, check out every avenue you can, and rule it all out and do what you can so that you can feel your best. Also, mold exposure can also be related to fibromyalgia. Bottom line, my goal is to, since I've done everything possible in all the food, the diet, the natural, the everything, and I still have fibromyalgia bad. I've ruled out everything. I've been every avenue you could think that their theory of causing it, I've been down. Even Lyme, I mean, everything. If it's out there, I've tested for it. And so I will never, ever, ever stop seeking what is truly fueling the fibromyalgia that I have. Because not only for myself, but for people in the future with this, if I can get to the bottom of mine and they document it, it can help somebody. Because fibromyalgia, I stinking hate it to death. Right now, I'm doing all right. Before this, I have been in basically a constant flare with maybe a couple of days at a time break from it. Instead of having like a flare every few weeks or few months, it is like non-stinking stop. It's been awful. But thank God I've been able to get through it, mentally, physically, spiritually, all of that. And I'm able to make a video today. So I want to encourage you that if you are not well and you are not getting improvement, please seek out what you need to. If you want to message me on here, I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving you medical advice, but I will give you every ounce of information that I can give you that I've learned from, just to help you narrow down what you should do. I'll send you whatever. If you have questions and I can answer them, I will answer them with the knowledge that I have. I will also tell you I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to guide you medically, but I will just give you every ounce of knowledge I have. And then you could seek your doctor or whatever you need to go from there. I've learned a lot. I've researched a whole lot. I am not a medical professional. I call myself a professional patient at this point. Like, I'm always seeking or reading or at a doctor or something. And it's not because I am obsessed with doctors or having the perfect health or I'm a hypochondriac. It's because I truly believe that if you have something wrong with you, you need to do your best to get to some place that you can improve so that you are not lying in bed suffering and not having a life, because that is just not fair to you. And if I did not do all of the work the past 3 years, you would not be seeing me talking here. I'd be lying in bed. If I didn't have a husband to help support me and I wasn't working part-time, I would be homeless and poor and broke and depressed and sick and ill and weak and non-functioning person. It is the prayer, it is the effort, it is the research, it is the I'm gonna get to the bottom of it attitude that is keeping me thriving. So I'm not saying that if you're lying in bed and that you cannot get up most of the time, that it is because you're not seeking that, because there are people that have been bed bound and they've done everything I've done and they're still bed bound. But at least they could say, I tried it all. So please do not give in. Do not let anyone or any doctor or family member or anybody tell you that you need to just give up, because if you keep trying, and you don't have to stress yourself out and spend every dime you have, but if you just keep seeking, researching, looking, trying, I just believe that you will see improvement. You will be the best you can possibly be. And some people may get to the level I am, or not as good as I am, or better, or maybe even healed or cured. You never know. And you're not going to know unless you try. So I'm going to sign off because it's been very long. And if there's anything that you would like me to make a video on, you're watching this one, let me know. I'm glad to do it. I can make it short, just answering questions or whatever. So I'm going to go. Bye. Have a good day.